Hey everybody! So I've been back from Guatemala for a week now, and if you've had a chance to look at my daily journal logs here on the YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out and hearing about my daily experiences. I've been back for a week and had time to process everything, and my heart is just overloaded with the feelings that I have for what I can do for Guatemala and for other people. And like I said, I don't know really what that means for me at the moment for the future, but I do know that my first step is to take Spanish, and eventually somehow I'm going to learn how I can get more involved. But right now what we can do is we can get more involved all together with Manna Worldwide, which is the organization that took our church out there on a guided tour with Andrew. And on the clip on my Facebook post, it shows Feed the Need, and Andrew and a couple other missionaries are actually hiking 220 miles within 17 to 18 days, and all the money that they're raising for that is actually going to go to Manna Worldwide. And Manna Worldwide is just an amazing organization that is out there in Guatemala and a ton of other different countries. Our particular missionary, Andrew, deals with Guatemala, and he has been doing amazing things out there. First off, he's finding really poor communities that the children need to, one, they need food. The parents aren't making any kind of income. Most of them, the males, are working out farming fields that they don't even own, in hopes that they're going to get something off that they can try to resell out there to make some money, and they're living off of $1 to $2 a day to try to feed them and their families, which is absolutely crazy. And unfortunately 80% of the world lives that way, in poverty. You know, if you're watching this, you're probably one of the lucky ones that, you know, has a cell phone or has access to social media and Facebook and YouTube. And we really do live in a bubble, and we don't know really what is out there until you get out there and do it. The children need us. The families need us. They don't know the things that we know here because they're in their own different bubble from what we're in. But you know, all we can do is try to help and to train them, and that's something that Andrew does out there. Is he's putting up churches in certain areas that are drawing in the children first to feed them, and by the parents coming and connecting with the local pastor that Andrew helps find, they are signing up their children. The parents sign up their children if they want their child to receive a free food or a free meal every single day. And they also get the Word of God while they're there, and usually do like some kind of activity and learning type of something and playing. So they do a lot of fun things with the kids. So the kids obviously go back and talk to their parents. Their parents eventually, hopefully, get involved in the church, start coming to church service on a regular day. And you know, when you are not sure how you're going to feed your children or how you're going to have money to buy supplies or to buy baby clothes or anything like that, it's very stressful for a person. And if you think that you are all alone and you don't have anybody, for one, if you're a believer, you always have somebody. You always have the man upstairs, God. He loves us, and he provides us with unconditional love and hope, and for me, just a freedom that I know that I don't have to worry or stress about anything, because I know that he's going to take care of me and he's going to provide me. Yes, he does give me the courage to work the way that I work, and to give me the heart and the love and the strength and everything that I have to give to others. But I wouldn't be like who I am without out him and the things that he put me through. So I learned a lot in my last 20 years of life, actually a little over 20 years. So they're just doing really amazing things out there. You know, these kids that are in the orphanages, it's really, really sad because in Guatemala you have poverty, which they can't even take care of their own kids because they're only can farm the fields. And then you have these upper class people that don't believe in adoption for the most part because it's not part of their culture. They want to pass down their land and their belongings to their own blood. So these people that can't take care of their kids, that are putting in the orphanages, these kids are going to live out their whole entire childhood into these orphanages. You know, there was I don't know if you guys have seen some of my posts that I had posted before, but there was like 4 kids in the orphanage that had been picked up from a huge raid of over 50 kids from human trafficking. You know, these kids were out on the street like begging for money for their trafficker. I mean, that's crazy. We don't think of like human trafficking like that. We think of you know, sex trade and everything, and human trafficking is one of the biggest things that are sold on the black market underneath like guns and ammo. So it's really a huge thing, and I think a lot of us are like oblivious to a lot of that kind of stuff because like we said, we live in our bubble. But you know, that's why the Guatemalan government shut down international adoptions. So these kids are going to be stuck there forever. There were some kids that were sold after being adopted internationally, like put on the black market, and thank God, like people are catching this. But it's sad for the kids because there's thousands of kids that there's good homes that they can go to, but you have these, seriously, I'm going to say very ill-minded demon people out there that sell children for sex, for money, and it is like, for me, that is like a hell. I can't imagine that with my own children. And I don't know, I can't imagine that any parent would even allow that with their children. But you know, we're all different breeds, and everybody has different circumstances, and people have a lot of like mental health issues, and all we can do is try to save these people and try to help them. And that's one of the things that Mana Worldwide is trying to do with these children that are caught up with parents that have it like mental illness or some kind of other illness that they can't take care of their own children. And another thing they have that they just are getting ready to open, and they just bought property, is, you know, since these kids are probably going to be in this orphanage for their whole childhood, is they're really not going to know how to care for themselves once they're older, or they weren't brought up in any kind of family-like situation, so they don't know how a husband and wife acts. They don't know those things. They haven't been able to go out and work like, you know, a lot of these other kids, you know, having to work because that's their only chance at like having anything like money-wise to put food on the table. So they actually just put up another property. It's called Mana's Village, and it's not even open yet. They just got the property, and if some of you guys saw my video, it was the secret garden video that you just walk into the doors, and it's just beautiful gardens, so beautiful. And what they have there on that lot is coffee beans, so coffee bean plants. So they are actually like growing and making their own coffee, so that when these kids get to these 17, 18 years old, they'll move over to this Mana Village, and on that village is like one main house, and then they're putting little apartment houses all alongside it, and they're going to show what a family looks like, how a husband and wife act, you know, being a married couple, so that they would know They teach them how to make coffee, so that, you know, Guatemalan is like number 9 in the world's like coffee growing list. So there's a ton of plantations and different ways that you can grow coffee out there that end up going into big batches of like coffee sales throughout the whole entire world. So they are preparing them to learn types of different ways that they can earn money, as well as how to live in a normal social setting, so that they are preparing them for life, to be out there on their own, to get out there and do something. So it's a really amazing organization that are doing so much. There's they bought another property in Antigua, my favorite city that I've ever traveled to in all of my travels. Actually want to go back there and just stay there and hike some volcanoes. It's the city in the valley of 3 volcanoes, with old cobblestone streets. It's just absolutely beautiful. But they bought a property there and they opened up a bed and breakfast, and it's called Casa de Madeline, and it is a Manna Worldwide bed and breakfast, and all proceeds go to Manna Worldwide in helping like the Feed for Children and helping in trade when it comes to learning how to have better skills. So they actually have another building that they're putting up in at one of the Mayan communities, the feeding centers that they have, where they're building a building, and they have a missionary out there that's a young 25-year-old, and he is going to be teaching these men some different trades. So right now all they can do is farm, because that's the only thing that they have out there is like farming. And so he's going to teach them how to weld, how to do plumbing, cutting, building, construction, all kinds of stuff. So these guys are going to be able to learn other things and other ways that they can go out and make money for their family to survive on, instead of just like selling whatever they possibly or can that they're digging up in the field. So it's pretty amazing, all the different things that they have going on out there. Just the multiple feeding centers and churches going up, and everybody's just so happy and grateful and enjoy what they're doing, that it's just a really great organization. So if you ever think about like you want to go take a trip like this, the thing is there's so many people that they say they'd love to do it, but they don't ever pull the trigger. This is probably one of the best trips that I've ever been on when it comes to like life-changing experiences and just eye-opening. I went in with, I think, expectations of thinking that it was going to be so much worse than what I was thinking. I've, seen those Feed the Children commercials all the time with those poor children that are so malnourished and big distended bellies. Luckily, like, these children have been being fed from manna, so they are looking healthy. They are full of smiles and running around and playing because they don't feel the stresses that the parents feel, but they don't live like we live. We don't have dirt floors in our house. Our house isn't held up by steel sheets. So it's definitely a pretty amazing experience. And if you haven't got involved in any way, or just have been thinking about it, I say go for it. It's a great experience. You are with the right organization. You are totally taken care of when it comes to safety. There wasn't a time at all that I never felt that I wasn't safe. My sleeping conditions were amazing. The food was great. So I don't have any complaints. I was very well taken care of, as well as the rest of our group with my church. So if you haven't ever done this, do it. Don't wait. This will change your life. So get out there, make a difference. be a part of Manna Worldwide by sponsoring. You can sponsor children. You can donate to them so they can help feed children. I believe they said it costs over $40 a day to feed children there, because they're not only feeding them, but they are educating them, and they're providing them with medical as well. And, you know, like, look at this little face. Just think. There's so many other little kids out there that need lots of love. Huh? Say, support Manna Worldwide. So get out there. You can click the link I'll have in my in my homepage. Support Manna Worldwide. I am. Just so you know, no more. Thank you. No more. Just so you know, I am not being paid by them. I am not employed by them. I have no tie towards them. It's just something that I firmly believe in, and you know, in the future I'm going to get more involved as well. And my first step up is I got to learn more Spanish, because these poor kids were trying to talk to me and I have no idea what they're trying to say. So so get involved if you can. You know, there's people out there that need us, and if we have the love, if we have the money, if we have the heart, and we have Jesus in our life, we can be that person to change the world. So get out there and help us make this world a different place. Take care, you guys.